Thanks for the organizers for the opportunity to speak here. I'm going to talk a little bit about our continuous manufacturing platform and also introduce Enzene to you because this is the first time this year we're going to come to the US. So want to talk a little bit about our journey. So we are a company that dreams big. We want to become the best biotech company in the world. That's the dream that we have. But our dreams are anchored to our values, which are innovation, integrity, excellence, entrepreneurship, candor, respect, and our mission to impact the healthcare through our passion for innovation and for life. We've taken these small steps towards our dream. We have 7 biosimilar molecules that are launched in India using the continuous manufacturing process. We've built 2 manufacturing plants, a third one coming up in the US. And we have built one of the best teams in the world. We have some great people. This is our senior leadership team. We have around 1,000 people back in India, and now we are building up in the US. So now I'm going to talk about continuous manufacturing, how we went about developing it, and so it won't be very technical in terms of the process itself, but happy to answer any questions. But I'll talk about the concept behind and the reasons behind going to developing a fully connected continuous manufacturing platform. We are perhaps the only company that offers this as a service as well, right? So when we started in 2015, we had a blank slate. And what we wanted to write on that slate is how do you democratize access to life-saving medicines in India? And so I'm going to introduce the problem to all of you a little bit. So first of all, what is the cost of gram, right? Cost per gram of gold is around $80. It fluctuates. Probably I don't know what it is today. This is 2 months back old data. Probably around $90, I would guess, right? This is the cost per gram of a MAb molecule, purified monoclonal antibody that goes into your drug substance. It varies quite a bit. It's somewhere between 150 to 450, right? If you want to be at that 150 though, you have to put a 20,000 liter facility. Without that, you're not going to get to 150. If you are at a 2 KL or a 500 liter or a 200 liter, you're going to be closer to that $450 per gram scale. So remember that, that's an important number, right? This is what we deal with in India, right? What is the annual household income per month? This is not individual, household, okay? 22% of the Indian population earns less than $60 per month, household, yeah? And if you look at this, this is 0.2% of the population. So 99.8% of the population earns less than $2,000 household per month. What is the cost of cancer therapy? In India, it is around somewhere between 10,000 to 20,000 for the whole therapy, right? A vial of a MAb for cancer costs $2,000. A vial for romiplastim, which is for ITP, costs $2,000. Life-saving, but 99.8% of the Indian population is not able to access it, even after having biosimilars. That's even after having biosimilars. We are not talking about the novel molecules, we are talking about biosimilars here, right? So that had to change. We had a blank slate, that is what we were trying to change. This is the problem. And we've been talking about 2 gram per liter, 4 gram per liter, 6 gram per liter, 12 gram per liter for MAbs, but it's not really relevant to the biosimilars in terms of reducing cost of goods. And the reason for that is, this is a simple graph here, right? So when you look at, I guess the pointer is not working, but when you look at the cost of goods calculations, if you have a high volume products like vaccines, they are directly proportional to your direct cost, which is raw materials, etc. If you have low volume products, so despite having 1.3 billion people in India, biosimilars are still low volume. They are on that left side of the axis. That is when your fixed cost is going to have a bigger contribution. So you could have a 10 grams per liter process, but it does not matter, because it's your fixed cost that is going to have a bigger contribution on your cost of goods. Okay, so that is what we wanted to solve. And what is your fixed cost, right? What are the key contributors to the fixed cost? Utilities, maintenance, salary, and then of course your depreciation, right? So that is what we had to manage. And the only way to manage is to have a small footprint. So it's not about 10 grams per liter. It's about your investment that go into setting up your manufacturing plant. That is what has to be managed, right? So how do we manage that? So this is a figure that we've taken from one of the publications for a standard fed batch process. Okay? And if you look at all of these orange boxes, so what happens in a fed batch process? You have to hold after each unit op. So if you have 10 unit ops, in between each of these unit ops, there is a whole tank, which means it's a wasted space. You talk about footprint, your whole tanks are wasted space, right? In a sense, they're not actively doing anything. They're just holding your process between your unit ops, right? 80% of your footprint in a standard fed batch manufacturing process is consumed by your whole tanks. So our thought was simple. If we want to have a lower investment in our manufacturing plant, if we wanted to have a smaller footprint, we had to develop a fully connected continuous manufacturing process, which means from perfusion all the way to pre-drug substance. The only step in our process, this is what we sketched at that time, right? So only step we thought we will not do in a continuous mode is the final virus filtration. Because of V plus to V minus, you want to have areas that are segregated pre and post virus, right? So this was what we imagined. This is what we ended up doing. So we do have a fully connected continuous manufacturing process. We are perhaps the only company that does it, right? Because people talk about continuous manufacturing, but this is a fully connected continuous manufacturing process, starting from perfusion, real-time purification, all the way to pre-drug substance. All the 3 steps, pH inactivation, everything is in line. Everything is in line, okay? And that is important to address the low footprint. Anywhere you hold, you'll have to create a whole tank, you need a bigger footprint, okay? Now, what is the advantage of this? We see somewhere between 50 to 80% reduction in total cost, because in our process it is not just the footprint that shrinks, but your productivity is also higher. So when you do perfusion, you get somewhere around 5 to 10 times higher cell densities per liter, right? And if each cell produces the same amount of protein, then you have 10 times higher volumetric productivity for your product, right? So this is a standard fed batch. In 15 days, if you get 10 grams, when you do perfusion, we get 80 grams. And we've proven this again and again and again for almost 35 different molecules, right? And we see a cost reduction of somewhere between 40%, 45% to around 80%, okay? So that's the advantage of this platform. And this is the real, actually this is our manufacturing suite currently. In around 1500, it's actually less than 1500, it's around 1350 square feet, we can manufacture 10 kilograms a month, okay? And we have commercialized with this platform. We have 3 biosimilars that are launched in India. We've supplied more than 1 million doses last year for the 3 products for the Indian market using this platform. So it's commercially validated. We've taken around 35 batches of continuous manufacturing so far, just in the last 18 months. And I'll tell you we talk about price reduction. There's a product where the innovator costs per vial are $2,000. We are not into direct sales ourselves, right? We give it to our partners. We transfer the same product to our partners for less than $10. That's the impact that we've made in India, right? Now, these are all the advantages of continuous manufacturing, right? And I'll not go into that, but one of the big advantages also is carbon footprint. Smaller footprint, your carbon footprint is going to be much smaller. So from a sustainability perspective, this is very, very, very important. I don't know if people agree here, everybody agrees in global warming or not. Last week, temperatures in Delhi were 46 degrees centigrade. So whether we agree with it or not, it is happening, okay? So this is also extremely important. Managing your lower carbon footprint for biomanufacturing, extremely important. Now what happened since we had this continuous manufacturing platform? we got a lot of interest. So we've done around 31 projects for our clients. Most of them are actually based in US or in Europe. And so we started, providing our services to them all the way from development to clinical manufacturing, and we are progressing now towards commercial manufacturing, right? I'll show you one example very quickly, client data. This was a complex human engineered molecule. What I have also learned through many years of doing this is anything that is human engineered is very unstable. That is what is seen here, right? They see good expression early on day 5, day 6, but by the time they go to day 15 in their fed batch, the molecule falls apart because there is a proteolytic site in there. Okay, so they came to us and say, hey, so they were getting 3 grams for 50 liters and they didn't know what to do, either scale it up to maybe 2 KL or whatever, or try perfusion. And of course, I mean, perfusion has worked conventionally very well for these products. We have a connected process also, and I'll not go into the details of that. This was not a MAb, so we had to develop a capture step for the product, which we did. But essentially, when you look at perfusion, you can see that you're again getting much higher cell densities like we now generally see. But an important thing is your viability is also maintained. And for this particular protein, why this is important is because when the cells lose viability, when they die, they will secrete proteases into the media, which will start chopping of the protein, right? So in perfusion, that is the other advantage. We developed this entire process flow for marrying the upstream with downstream. Very important, right? This is purity by HPLC. This is the data that we got from silver stains for the same product. But what is most important and amazing is we got 27 grams of drug substance from 50 liters. Actually, it's from 20 liters, while they were getting 3 grams from 50 liters. So that's the quantum of improvement that we see. Again, batch to batch consistency is incredible for this process. But now we are coming to the US. We have 30 clients. And again, the slate is blank because we just started setting up our plant, which will go operational in October. What are we trying to do? We are trying to democratize local CDMO access for innovative therapies in the US. 80% of all the early stage innovation probably happens in the US, but often our partners struggle to find a local partner. These are smaller virtual companies, and outsourcing manufacturing is a big challenge for them. So there is a huge need for local access to all these great assets so that they can move forward. That's what we are trying to do. By setting up our plant, we are going to be in New Jersey. We are going to essentially take our same EnzeneX 1.0, which gives 10 kilograms per month right now, and we are going to introduce it to the US. The beauty of this 1200, 1300 square foot clean rooms is that you can geographically scale it out. Very easy to install. So now we are installing it in the US as a first step, but we truly want to globalize this and go to various countries and install this compact manufacturing that can still give you 10 kilograms. But that's not it. The next step that we are trying to do with EnzeneX 2.0 is to start getting 40 kilograms of per batch. And that's when we start challenging the 20,000 liter scale. So we are already working in R&D in doing that. In recent R&D batches, we got around 100 grams from a 2 liter bioreactor. And once we scale it up, we will easily be able to achieve this target of 40 kilograms. And that will also allow us to hit a $50 per gram price target. And this is not cost of goods. This is what our client will have to, this is what our client will have to pay, right? So this is essentially what we are trying to do. And we are going to inaugurate our US facility in October. And hopefully by next year, 2025, we'll be able to hit this $50 per gram target with a 40 kilogram yield. That's it. I think this is the last slide. Thank you very much. Happy to answer any questions.